everyone, and welcome to episode 163 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
And this time we watched Heart-Racing Fear Experience, The Spirit Hunter Bellows.
And Resemblance, or none at all, the disguised Patamon thief Betsuman.
And we also watched UFO and Dinosaur Great Gathering, a Kakimon of Dreams. Which, I'm a big fan of all these titles because they're very much just, the plot in maybe a sentence or two. But yeah, I dig it.
When did Kaoru ever bellow?
I don't know, but I wanted her to, and I kind of love her. And I just feel like this would be so much better if this was Nene's introduction episode.
Wow, that's pretty late. Honestly, for me, I think this character looks like a chosen child. She had the right design. She could have been in any other season.
Well, she's got a Tomoki hat.
Uh-huh.
I wanted her so badly to be, another chosen child of this, but she just wasn't, and I wish she was, because I really liked her, and I really liked this episode. Spoiler alert for when we dive into the episodes, but I really liked this episode.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best ones in a while.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think it's probably not that good if we had good episodes before it. But because because it's been so long since we've had anything enjoyable, we'd be like, hey, this is an episode. We saw something, hey, well done. Also,
it's not that good if you are a fan of alive Patamons.
Oh yeah, which is dead Digimon. That's a new thing. But anyway, we will talk about the episodes that we discussed, obviously, in the relevant segments. First of all, there's no news this week, and there'll also be no Postmon Pat. We didn't get any Postmon Pats, but it works out because I'm actually a little bit sick. It's just a cold.
Soon to be a ghost.
Soon to be a Patamon ghost. No. So yeah, I would prefer to talk less. Obviously, after this episode, not have it a super long one, so it's fine that we go without the news and Postmon Pat. I think my voice will last for the episode. I believe back in the day when we would just record every week on Friday night, even if I was really, really sick, there were a couple of episodes where my voice just died at the end. Hopefully it's not that because it's not as bad as those times. But we'll see. So if this becomes just the J podcast, you'll understand that I've just died.
Oh no.
Well, on to Obnoxious Synopsis. The first episode that we're watching this week is called Heart-Racing Fear Experience, The Spirit Hunter Bellows. What do you think will happen this episode?
Look, I know what I want it to be, because we were having this whole conversation on the Patreon Discord about UA Hunter J. And I'm hoping that maybe that was a reference to this, the Spirit Hunter, but it's not gonna be. It's so cool.
That would be cool.
Great weird spoiler for them to talk about it, and then just get into this episode. It's oh, by the way, this was a whole callback to Cross Wars for some reason.
Well, a lot of Cross Wars does seem to come up in Atmon a little bit.
How is this not heart racing? Why is it here tracing?
I have no idea. As I said, I got it from Wikipedia, and for some
almost
reason Wikipedia
certainly
had
just
a
a typo.
Oh yeah, it's 100% a typo. It's definitely heart racing.
Okay, God, it's just a random filler episode, which means we need to invent something to be scared of. And I want to say it's Patamon, but is that the one I'm thinking of?
The one with the...
No Easy Task.
The one that says a No Easy Task, yeah. The best.
Yeah, that's the one. I want to say it's that. It's probably not going to be. It would have otherwise been maybe Pumpmon, but he was in the last episode, so that doesn't count. And I have no idea what the Spirit Hunter means. Part of me wants to go to Crunchyroll and just see what the actual title is, because often these are wrong.
It's similar in the title. Similar theme.
Let's find out, shall we? It's a thrilling horror experience. The Spirit Hunter's Shadow. It's the same thing. Yeah, I don't know what that means, the Spirit Hunter. I have to assume it's some kind of Digimon they're referring to, but I don't know what. It's more likely to be they're chasing a ghost. Okay, which means there's probably a haunted house or something. And people are oh no, this house is so haunted. And Takiru's I bet it's a Digimon. And Taiki's yeah, it's probably a Digimon. And they go and look, and it's a Digimon. And
Surprise!
Then Team Rocket are there to take it, and then they do for 2 seconds, and then they leave and give it back.
Right.
It's the same episode as last time, isn't it? But
So what will
without
annoy
the
you?
trains. If it's the same episode as last time, but without the trains.
Oh,
You know,
and-
have you noticed
Yep.
how every time I say what I think will happen, it's also the thing I think will annoy me?
Yeah, I did notice that. Probably because this whole season, like, everything that you predict will and everything that does happen annoys you.
It's so boring.
Like, in other seasons, it was just, like, a small thing, like, Daisuke does something stupid, or, I don't know, what was something that I know we never did Obsin, but I'm sure there was things that you were worried about, and, oh yeah, Atmon being bad, which never really happened.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the annoying things were always just like minor possibilities, but they weren't the whole episode. Do you think it'll be a good episode?
I don't. No, I don't think any of these will be.
What rating?
Like a 1. I think this is not going to hold very
Filler or not
much in the way
filler?
of a story. It's a filler for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just asked that question just because I may as well, because we have had a possible non-filler episode at one point
Yeah, where
I
it
think.
showed like the most important thing in this entire season.
for 5 seconds.
Less.
The second episode that we're watching this week is called Resemblance or None at All. The disguised phantom thief Betsumon. What do you think will happen this episode?
Have you seen a Betsumon before? It sounds really familiar.
No, I think I've shown it to you and I said, look at this stupid Digimon design.
Oh Christ! It's this thing, isn't it?
The Gatomon in the suit, or someone in a Gatomon suit.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want touchy Uncle Betsumon in this.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna. Like, I'm so thrown off that this thing even exists. I don't understand. Why is he so gross? Why does his belly button stick way, way, way too far out in front of his
to be
in front of
fair,
his bulge?
it's just a slightly scarier Edamon, right? Like, Edamon was sort of like that.
Yeah, Edamon didn't have a weird penis.
Like, oh man, remember seeing Edamon in the live-action version? Imagine if there was, like, a live-action Betsumon.
Yeah, it probably would have been better than this, actually.
Terrifying, though.
They just don't emphasize, okay, what's his name, the monkey? Edamon's dick that much.
I'm glad they don't. I'm really glad that they don't, actually. That's my highlight
That's,
of Digimon,
I think that's the
actually.
primary concern with this design. It's literally, if you took that away, it would be
Yeah.
fine. But because it's there, all of a sudden the whole thing becomes horrendously
Yeah,
pervy.
it's the focal point, and it shouldn't be. So, anything will happen besides your discomfort, or you can't look past the discomfort?
I'm struggling. I'm like afraid that this is the only episode in the Digimon that ends with the police taking him away.
Hopefully. Like, that's what we hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What will annoy you if the police don't take him away?
Uh-huh. If he touches
Oh, no.
any of the kids, I'm stopping watching this show forever.
Do you think it'll be a good episode, or will you just be
No.
horrified?
No.
What rating?
0. Big 0. The biggest 0.
Like his biggest zero.
Uh-uh.
Filler or not filler?
Yes, filler for sure.
The third episode that we're watching this week is called UFO and Dinosaur Great Gathering, a Kakimon of Dreams. What do you think will happen this episode?
What is an Ikakimon? That sounds really familiar.
That was actually one we've been shown in an eye catcher. It was actually a contest winner. Someone designed a Digimon as part of a contest, and now he's being put into an episode.
Okay, have I seen this?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
the
you
pencil.
showed me. Oh,
It's
the pencil. Oh, okay. That puts into perspective what like UFO and dinosaurs might be.
Mm-hmm.
Like people think they're seeing these things, or they're actually probably showing up. But in the UA field or whatever it is, oh god, the Digiquartz.
UA
I don't
field, yeah,
know.
Digiquartz.
Whatever. In the Digiquartz, like this pencil is just like drawing UFOs and dinosaurs and sending them loose. And he's like, I like doing art. And then I bet they have some sort of drawing competition that Tagiru is surprisingly. No, wait, no. Tagiru will be bad at it, but he'll be really proud of his thing. And then who would be really good at drawing? You'd be fantastic at drawing. If Nene
Right.
was there, she'd be crap, but she's not.
So you think we have a more use central episode?
Yes. Why not?
Well, that's
Sure.
good, right?
Sure. No.
Oh, what do you think will annoy you?
I mean, probably realistically, this seems like an episode where if that's what's happening, like UFOs and dinosaurs and stuff, that the public would get incredibly exposed to Digimon and then like again have no reaction at all.
Right. And do you think it'll be a good episode?
No, not at all.
What rating?
A 2.
Oh no. And filler or not filler?
Yes, it is.
Any other thoughts about any of these episodes that we're covering?
I got nothing for you. They're all just really random, and I would even say that they're just focused on the name of a Digimon. But the first one isn't even that.
So do you think we'll get any hint of a plot at all?
At some point. No, not in these episodes.
Okay. Well, I guess if you have no predictions, we can move on to the show.
Yes, indeed.
Episode 70 starts off with some sort of almost like paranormal activity, creepypasta sort of Slenderman thing going on. Slendermon, if you will. And then there's like a haunted telephone booth. Oh, right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the way this episode starts. I mentioned in the intro, I love this episode. So
is this around the same time that Paranormal Activity was getting really popular?
I think it was a few years after it. This was like 2011 maybe, 2010, I don't know. And I think Paranormal Activity was a few hours prior, but like when has Digimon ever been in the correct time, right?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah, good point. And so some girl is looking at these creepypasta videos and she's investigating them because she's being Mulder. And then we get to Yu and Tigru, who are on bikes, and Taiki is busy at baseball club, which is great because they're finally realising that they shouldn't actually have Taiki in it because it's not really his story and they kind of made it his story. And then they go to the phone booth, and then there's this sort of... It's reminiscent of an old meme there used to be with
Mandor Handhook Car Door?
No, I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I have no recollection of that meme at all. Did you make it up?
No, I didn't make it up. It was
Are
big
you
on...
sure?
I'm positive. It was
Are
big
you certain?
on... Yes. It was big on like I think it was like Tumblr in 2010. It was just this GIF, and I can't remember what movie it's from, but it just reminds me of the I'm just trying to find a link at the moment, and I'll link it in the linked up as well, because I made this reference. But it basically just reminds me of the old meme. Why do I post so much on this Twitter?
I don't know. I'm constantly getting notifications because I have Discord on, which, in hindsight, big mistake.
You could just mute the channel. Okay.
If I was smarter.
I linked it in the Discord, and you can just click on it.
I see.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Free him.
Free him.
That's what I remember.
So this is like a pretty... Oh yeah, free him. This is a pretty like... I don't know, this start scene is... And I guess the whole episode in general, the characters act a lot like they were acting in the first episode. Like, Tigru is just Tigru from the first episode. Like, his personality and his relationship with you is his relationship with you from the first episode. So it's very much, like, in line with how the characters should be.
Yeah, but as though they've not done anything since.
Yeah, so I feel like this would have been better as, like, a second episode.
Yeah, and I also feel like one of the next episodes with when he's, like, fighting, what's it called, Jumdramon, that felt like it would have happened way earlier. Like, all of these revelations about their character and the past all feel like they don't really make much sense to only introduce near the end of the season.
Yes, I feel like the next episode could have easily been episode 3, and this episode could have been episode 2 of the season, because I feel like it uses the characters effectively and the way they should be done. For example, at the end of this episode, Taiki is doing his baseball thing, and then because he pushed himself, all we see is a shot of him just on a pillow, and a car is just shown up. That would be so great if it was sort of like a gag of every episode, is that Taiki couldn't come today to the digital world because he couldn't turn his back on someone in some club that he's never met before.
I actually agree, that'd be a really funny joke.
Yeah, and it's just like, we got to see what club is Taiki being in today, and it would just have these, like, it wouldn't have to be that long you spend on him. The start of the episode, Taiki is at X club, and the end of the episode, the club one, Taiki's unconscious, Akari's there though, so it's okay. That'd be fine. That is a fine amount of Taiki. We know that he's still there, and he can't come along, and this can be like, it doesn't have to be every time, just most of the time. He is just being Taiki. That would be so not bad.
What if, and just hear me out here, what if instead of that, we had him make the new main character entirely redundant for the entire season?
But that would be bad.
No, but what if we did that instead?
Well, I guess that's what they did. They went with that idea, and you know what? They shouldn't. They should not have. It's not good at all. Dame, as our friend Damemon would say. So they're investigating it, and Yu's like, this is definitely a Digimon, and Tiguru is also like, this is definitely a Digimon, and I want you to remember that they're referring it to being a Digimon now. So, yeah, and that also makes sense that they would say, okay, something weird is happening as a Digimon. Like, this has been happening for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's just like, it's just a Digimon. So I'm glad that they never sort of, well, when I say never, I mean, Tigeru forgets in about 5 minutes. But anyway, at this point, it's good because they're actually saying, something weird's happening. It's a Digimon.
Yeah,
so
and I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, so you can hear a voice from the phone, and this girl that was in the intro, the start of the episode, shows up, and you and Tigeru have to hide their Digimon, and they start embracing, and their response to no question being asked is, we're really good friends. Because they're just embracing.
It's just like the implication.
Yeah, it's just like, what's better than this? Guys being dudes. It's
just
great.
guy love between two guys. Don't worry about it.
There's nothing strange between it. It's fine. They're just friends. So this I can't speak today because I'm sick. Kaoru girl is just a lot like, she looks like Nene in one of her cosplays from the Seven Death Generals, right?
Sort of. I wouldn't say entirely.
Like, I love her design, and she looks so much like she should be relevant in more than just one episode.
She might come back for exactly one other episode to do nothing, a la Cashier Kid.
Yeah. I like the train guy, and I like the money guy.
Why?
I don't know, he just seems really happy with doing what he's doing.
He likes trains.
Yeah, I know, I dig it. You and Tigeru are following her, and then Kaoru falls down a drain and hurts herself because how else are you going to have a character, right? She falls over and she finds things because she falls over.
She's haunted. It was a ghost.
It was a girl.
It also was that, yes.
Yep.
In a technical sense.
Then they find a power plant, which was there the entire time, apparently.
Well, they're like, the hospital. Oh, it was a power plant. Guys, how could you make that mistake? And how can these things just go missing? That's a big building.
That's a very big building, yes.
How can they just lose a power plant?
You turn your back on it and it hides.
Where? How could it hide?
Behind some trees, you saw it. There was behind some trees. Very thick trees.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Why, you gotta be right.
I don't know. The script is also behind the trees, by the way. Except
Finally, we found it.
Between less trees, because it's pretty obvious. So they reload their Digimon to do some investigating, because, reminder, you and Tigeru are just like, yep, it's a Digimon. Okay? I want you to remember that. Okay, Jay? You need to pay attention. They are acknowledging that this is a Digimon. That there's no ifs and buts. It's like, this is a Digimon. And they know this. Yeah. So
why wouldn't it be?
Sudden lightning makes a figure appear, which kind of looks like a Greymon that I noticed. And Tigeru gets scared, which, by the way, can we think about like maybe 3 episodes ago where Tigeru was just all like, hey, you know that dragon who could kill me just by stepping on me? And who is made out of a volcano? I'm gonna fight him.
Oh yeah, he's not scared of stuff, but he's also a big coward.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. And this is like my main negative of the episode. It's just like, this isn't his personality that this whole series is made for us. It's just, why? It contradicts an episode 3 episodes ago or 2 episodes ago or something. What are you doing, show?
I love that you want consistency from Digimon. That thing that I've demanded forever, and you're like, but it's Digimon, it's fine.
Atmon was consistent.
Yeah, that's called Atmon. It's a different show.
Tamers was consistent.
Sort of.
Arguably, I think even Frontier was a little bit consistent. It was just consistent in a bad way.
Consistently bad.
Yeah. At least the world building was okay.
You know, you said that, but it wasn't.
Okay. Kaoru says that fear twists the minds, and that most phenomena are just people being scared and imagining things. A phone rings, Kaoru answers it, and everything goes dark. All the doors and windows locked, and it's raining now because of course it is. And Kaoru follows through this doorway because she hears something. And Aru is there, and she's scared. She jumps on Tigeru thinking he's you, and for some reason, and I'm not sure which episode put this part in, but she's in love with you all of a sudden.
Yeah, because all the girls love him. I'm like, is she going after his Digimon? No, she specifically tries to get rid of the Digimon. She just wants him.
But 2 episodes ago, I'm pretty sure tried to kill him by trapping him and then wanted to steal his Digimon.
Correct, she was totally disinterested.
And why does she just remind me of, and I'm pretty sure I said this last episode, that girl with the blood thing in My Hero Academia.
Because she's a crazy girl who's obsessed with stuff. It's like a trope.
Yeah, I mean...
That's why.
I kind of dig it that she's not entirely awful. Like, she's not
useless.
She's not just a trope, and...
she kind of is, but
yeah,
okay.
She's not like... It's not a typical girl trope, and this show is very... I'm going to follow all the formulas, so they could just have her be... let's think of her I in Atmon, who was very much just like... She's just the girl.
Sure.
And, just the girl character. She's not like, And I guess Digimon have actually done a pretty good job with not... If they have, like, a main girl, they don't have her being sort of of meek and quiet. Sure, they might have the one meek and quiet girl. So we have, like, Hikari, we have Juri, the sort of soft-spoken, timid girl. But a lot of the time they try to stay away from that trope of having, like, a useless girl, but they don't at the same time have a girl who's just, like, flawless and super, super strong and just, I'm a strong character because I'm strong, without any writing. And you could say, oh, but Ruki's strong. No, she's strong, but she's not strong. Like, she's not, like, perfect. She has clear issues. And, so at least Iru's not terrible. Like, my point is, Iru could be worse.
Okay, but couldn't everyone?
Yes, I definitely do not like Iru, but, like, I feel like I'm not meant to like her.
That is true. In a wrestling sense, that means it's a successful character.
Yes. So I feel like I do not like Tigeru, but that may just be because he, like, the writers don't know what personality to give him. And in terms of Iru, I feel like I'm not meant to like Team Rocket.
No.
I don't think I like them. They're the heels. They're the heel faction. You're meant to find them annoying. You're meant to not like when they show up. And Iru does things that are annoying. You're meant to not like her. And I feel like that's fine. I feel like I don't like her because of the way she's written. Like, as in, because I'm meant to not like her. I don't know. It's unusual. Anyway, so Iru's there. She loves you. And meanwhile, Kwaru gets captured because they're not paying attention to the girl without the Digimon. They're only paying attention to being slightly scared, and also the girl with the Digimon. I don't know. Turns out Iru's Apostamon has been captured, and Gumdramon doesn't believe her, which is completely understandable because she's a bad guy. And Iru does the whole big face yelling at anime thing. You ask Iru what happened, and then Iru's like, well, I came to hunt here because ghosts are cute. And something I like about the way Iru is written is that her version of cute is, like, very...
Atypical?
Yeah, it's very kind of broad, but also it's not like she thinks different things are cute. She doesn't think, like, she thinks everything has its own cuteness, but
she
likes
doesn't. She thinks a bunch of stuff's not cute. Even, like, traditionally cute things, she's like, nah, that sucks.
Well, yeah, she said the Lekmon wasn't cute, and I'm like, that is a betrayal of...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's just awful. Apostamon, I would say, is interestingly cute. I feel like she likes things that are differently cute. Like, they're cute in a different way.
Sure, but I mean, like, that's consistent. She's not random about it.
Yeah, but I kind of dig that. I dig, like, she likes Cutemon because Cutemon's really cute, but...
It's like in the name or something.
Yeah, but she doesn't like general, like, I think if she saw, like, a Labrador, she wouldn't say that's, like, a grown-up Labrador. She wouldn't say, oh, that's cute.
Oh, so she's a garbage, then?
No, I mean, like, cute Labrador dogs are really cute, but, like, I think all dogs are cute.
Well,
she
you're
might not
also
find
wrong.
something that's just, like, plainly cute, but if she saw something that was, like, a Labrador puppy, she'd think that was cute because that is really cute. But she also has some weird sort of extra cute factors, which are just like, that's a little bit strange, but I dig it. And I kind of love her. I mean, I love this part of her. I know, I'm conflicted about Digimon,
so we already know you have no taste.
I like Digimon.
I know, isn't that weird?
I like Dromogimon. Dromogimon's so cute.
I do not remember who that is.
He's the Narwhal mole. He's, like, purple, and he's got a big, like,
horn.
Yeah.
That was a very specific pull just now.
Yeah, he's so cute, because the Gachapon figure for the last 2 sets just arrived, and Dromogimon's in one of them, and he's just so cute. I don't know. I love him, and I'll die for him. Anyway, so they find out that Yu is targeting Iru, and it turns out her trap caught something, and she sent a Apostamon after it, and Iru panicked and ran because she's awful, and remember that she is awful because she's a bad guy. You're not meant to like her. She does bad things. So then, because Tigeru, by the way, has been freaking out the whole time and not wanting to do everything, he now says, oh, it's a Digimon, and his entire personality changes, and he's brave all of a sudden. Which, by the way, and this is why I was really stressing this point at the start of the episode. At the start of the episode, he is saying things like, I know it's a Digimon, and you knows it's a Digimon, and we're going to reload our Digimon because it's a Digimon. And
is it possible that he's just an idiot and forgot?
Oh yeah, no, that is my reason for why it's not terrible writing.
I mean, it is.
I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know why he thinks that a ghost, which may not be real, is more, and, generally is a ghost and can't actually touch you, and is something that he chased after himself, is more dangerous than, let's say, a giant dragon made out of volcanoes who's trying to kill you, and everything else.
Because you can't punch a ghost.
I mean, you can't, but I don't think you can, punch the dragon either. He's very large.
You can if you're angry enough.
You can if you're Masaru.
True.
Masaru would punch anything.
I have faith in his punch factor.
Me too. I think everyone does. And Eri.
She a puncher? Yeah, she's a puncher.
Yeah, her thing is Dokkan Punch, and then she kicked someone once.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Remember that time where she kicked spoilers, and she said Dokkan Punch, and Astra was like, "You kicked him." That was great. I love Eri. I'll die for her. Anyway, so
What's with you and dying for people lately?
I don't know. I'm just very I just want to make sure they're all okay.
Or die. One or the other.
To be fair, yes. All right.
Our millennial humor.
So, Kwaru is summoned by a ghost and wants to lend the power that she has to it. And I want to point out that I thought that this was her getting a crossloader. And I was like, oh my god, we're getting a character. And I was really excited. Not what happens, but it's fine. This is actually Poyomon, which is adorable. And it possesses a Patamon, which I'm not sure when Poyomon was given this ability, and I guess it's just because it's a ghost that it can do this, but
yeah,
it's
not
horrifying.
a Poyomon ability, it's because he's dead.
Yeah. Well, Poyomon is kind of like a ghost-looking friend, or a pile of splooge, but I'm going to go with a ghost-looking friend. Anyway.
All of the baby Digimon are ghosts when they're... Like, if they were all dead and translucent like this, they would all look like ghosts.
Yeah, well, I think Poyomon is translucent, because in a couple of figures, he's just been translucent. Anyway, so Iru makes a Patamon evolve, which is a dumb idea, because it's possessed, and it just makes it stronger and possessed.
Like, she seems to have some sort of idea, like, oh yeah, no, he'll come back and be loyal again when he evolves, but it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But also, I thought evolution didn't work that way. I thought they had to be, like, in sync. You can't just jam at evolution on someone who's not listening to you.
Well, that was clearly the case in the first part of Cross Wars. This one just takes anything that they've ever written before and goes, but what about if it was easier for us to ride around?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, remember, they had Gumdramon and Tigeru have the evolution thing after knowing each other for 5 minutes just because they wanted to be better than everyone else. And then, meanwhile, Taiki and Kiraha couldn't evolve their Digimon until they had some, big character-changing moment and had emotions and character development. And it
that
took,
would make writing a lot easier.
Yeah, it took 30 episodes instead of 5 minutes. But this does make it easier. You could argue it's because the bracelet he gets on his tail makes him do it, but sounds fake, but okay. Anyway, so, what was I? Okay, so last time we did a podcast, I mentioned how Young Hunters does not have split screen evolutions. Mm-hmm. And then this episode, and I think we're back to our original way of saying how an episode is good or not, is one, how late the evolutions occur in an episode, and two, if they saved the time that they needed by squishing the evolutions together and making split screen evolutions. This episode has an evolution 17 minutes into the episode, and it's a split screen one, and I think that's the first split screen one we've had in Young Hunters, and maybe Cross Wars overall.
I think I agree.
So, and that was very much our old scale, right? We haven't really spoken about it for a while because it's sort of
fell into the background.
Yeah, it was just sort of oh, they evolved, it's Digimon. But this, and also maybe the episodes weren't that good. All the episodes were just so good anyway, they had the evolutions. But this episode was quite, it's 17 minutes into the episode, oh right, they can evolve. And I dig it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Anyway, so Kwaru falls, something saves her. It's actually Patamon. And he explains he wants her to save him and his friends. Kwaru touches his hand, floats up to calm the Poyomon down. Iru apologizes. Patamon then tells them to not come around to this area anymore, and then they agree because Patamon told them, and that's completely reasonable. I think if Patamon told me anything, I'd be like, yes, okay, I can do that for you, sweetie. Anything else?
Yeah, but Patamon totally screwed this up because, wouldn't he have told her to stop trapping Digimon just because she thinks they're cute? Wouldn't that have been way more effective in the long term?
Yeah, but that doesn't affect him.
It does.
I want to know how he died.
He was in the cage too long.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, no, it seems evident to me it was revenge against the person who killed him.
Oh, I just thought he was already dead.
Why would he be put in the cage after he died?
Oh, why would you tell me that? That is so sad.
Iru's thing is putting people into cages. And I would have thought there were two different ones, but at the end when they go past the phone booth again, Patamon's also there and turns into a ghost.
Oh no, he's definitely dead. He's definitely a ghost. But the thing is, I thought that he was already a ghost at the start because Iru wanted to hunt a ghost.
No.
Because she heard the rumors of the telephone booth being haunted and stuff, and she
that could well be true, yes. However, I like 100% that she found Patamon and killed him,
Oh,
probably by
that's so...
accident.
That is the darkest thing. Oh my god. People never talk about young hunters being dark. They just talk about it being bad.
Well, it is.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying it can't be both. Oh, I'm really sad now.
Good.
Oh, no.
I'm
I'm having the emotions TM. Anyway,
those
it's sad.
things.
So Patamon's like, yeah, guys, never come here ever again. And then he just vanishes. And then you comments that Taiki didn't end up showing up, and I'm just like, yes, that's good, he didn't. And I love Taiki, don't get me wrong, I adore him. He is such a good character in terms of, like, he's flawed in the way that he can't turn his back on anyone. And I just love how he's just like, oh, I'm playing baseball. It's so cute. Anyway, Quarry wakes up in her tent and answers the phone. Patamon thanks her. And yeah, then we just sort of see them being ghosts. And they're just flying past, and Poyamon's, I guess, murdered Quarry's hat because it's now it's also translucent, and on Poyamon it's super cute. And then we see that Taiki won the baseball game and he's passed out on a pillow because of Akari, and Akari's wearing the goggles. And I mentioned this at the start of the episode, I wish that this was the way every episode of Young Hunters went, because it's just... This is good. We explain why Taiki can't be there, and we have an episode, and it's decent. Tuguru isn't super annoying. You is just like the way
because
I
he's
feel
too
like...
scared to be annoying.
Yeah, but that's fine. Make him a coward. It gives him something.
Yeah, I love it when the main character's a coward.
No, but like...
I love that.
It's better than him being awfully obnoxious and stupid.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Also, I kind of like it how he was scared and then realised it was a Digimon, and was just like, that's okay then. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid that he would say, oh, Digimon, that's safer than something that's not real.
The reason they're scared is because they think it is real, right? You can't say, I'm scared of a thing that's not real, because the reason they're scared is because they don't believe that.
I wish there was an episode, and I don't think there is. I'm very certain that there's not, actually, because it's too much of a good idea and it's a bit dark. Is that, you know how we always had, like in Adventure, we had the realization that you can die in the digital world?
Yeah.
And Taichi has like a breakdown about it because he's just like, I can die? I wish there was the same episode in Young Hunters where it's just like Tuguru gets like a scratch and he realizes it's real or something, and then he just freaks out.
Problem with that is that he lives in the real world most of the time.
I just think he's so stupid he doesn't think that Digimon can actually cause him pain.
That does seem evident when he tried to fight a dragon.
I know, like, imagine just like, it can't kill me, it's just data. And it's like, how many seasons have we had where there's a character who will think, this thing can't be hurt, it's just data. What if he thinks it can't hurt him because it's just data? That'd be
if
like...
I can't see you, you can't see me.
Yeah, and it's just like, he's got his eyes shut and he's sort of waving at this dragon who steps on him and he dies. I don't know, how amazing would that be? Like, he has a near-death experience and he actually experiences pain, and then he can't fight anymore.
I agree. I would also like to see him feel pain.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe he could just... He doesn't have to die. Maybe if he just got, like, squished on and, I don't know, hurt a lot. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Just grievous bodily harm.
Yeah, that'd be just that'd be such, like, a good thing, and I feel like it would explain why he's so stupid. Like, what is wrong with this child? Like, I'm just gonna run up to this big dragon. I can't see anything bad happening. I'm 12. Anyway, it's just, why? He has no reason to suspect it wouldn't hurt him. I don't know why he's acting like it doesn't. So, yes, we get the introduction corner, and this is why I watched the fan subs, by the way, because Crunchyroll cruelly cuts off the introduction corner.
I've never seen them before, and I'm always like, are you making these up?
So this is actually the one that I think I've mentioned a long time ago, like maybe, like definitely before Cross Wars, maybe even before the podcast itself. I think I was showing you Sparrowmon once, and I explained that it crossed with Patamon, and this is the episode. I've linked a GIF. I made a GIF of it for you that I could send in Discord. It didn't want the whole GIF because it was too long.
I'm watching this GIF right now.
Yeah. So what happens at the end is he just sort of floats down and falls because he can't stand the heaviness of Sparrowmon's wings.
Aww.
Isn't it not just the best thing ever?
It's pretty cute.
Actually, I might have uploaded the full version to... Oh, no, I didn't. I thought I might have uploaded the full version to...
It definitely doesn't fall down. I've been watching it flap for a while.
Yeah, like it does. It definitely, there's a longer version, but this one is still cute. He just sort of flaps forever, and I kind of wanted him just to flap forever to be complete.
He can't though, because he has to die.
No, not this one. Not the one across the Sparrowmon.
No, he's gotta.
But like, that is, I'm so sad that they cut out that from the Crunchyroll version.
I don't know why. I assume it's because they wanted to save space on their servers by not holding more Digimon.
I know, but they could
to that I say, fair enough.
I know, but better idea. They could have just removed all of Young Hunters and just had the introduction corners.
You know what? That is legitimately an option.
Because as I say, sometimes they're the best part of the episode. And I love this episode, and it even has my favourite introduction corner, which is Patamon and Sparrowmon, just because it's so cute. So yeah, I am pretty happy. Also, I like how he's holding the guns.
They are his hands.
Yes. But no, he's holding them.
No, he can't let go.
Because you can see his little finger. He's got a finger. I don't know where they're sitting on his hand, granted, but like it's very cute. I'm very emotional about it. Anyway, that's a GIF, and I will put it in the link dump because it's really important. And I just made the GIF just to show Jay what he was missing out on because it's really important.
I'm gonna call you unreasonably emotional about it.
It's Sparrowmon, but it's also Patamon, and what are you not understanding about this situation?
Mostly the Sparrowmon part.
Aw, but it's a bird plane.
It's really just a plane. You ever been on a plane? Those things suck.
Never been on a Sparrowmon bird plane.
Yeah, you don't even get to be inside. It'd be cold.
I want to be a friend.
Cold and outside.
Like me.
You're outside?
I wish I was. What do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
It's one of the best of this season.
Oh, most certainly. Like, I previously thought the best episode of all of Cross Wars was the Lotmon episode, and now I'm not so sure.
Oh, the Lotmon episode was way better than this.
Maybe, I think, and I said this before, it's just this episode seemed good because we've not had a good episode for at least 20 episodes.
A long time.
Like, and when I say good episode, I don't just mean like, this wasn't terrible. I mean like, I could probably say this was good.
I'm leaning more towards it wasn't terrible.
I mean, yeah. I know, I liked this episode. It was good. I just like, yeah, you did it, Young Hunters. You made an episode that wasn't 100% bad. It felt like all of the episodes should be with this, and it didn't follow the same formula that every episode in the season's basically followed. And neither did the next episode, which I also liked, but not as much as this one. And
it was like almost a story of this one where like they had an idea and they wanted to go with it and they used Digimon as a storytelling medium about like these dead Digimon, and then it was too dark so they had to just imply the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't even think that they were dead because I have a child's mind apparently.
You know what, that's about right.
Because I was like, oh, I knew they were dead, but I didn't think that Aru killed them. I just thought they were just ghosts. And
well, they just sought vengeance on her for no reason.
I just thought that like they were ghosts that were captured, and ghosts don't like to be captured, but it makes way more sense if you go even darker. We're just like, yep, murder.
You have to go darker.
Like, I wish you didn't. How'd you rate this episode?
It's like a 4.
Oh, that's still too low, I think. It deserves so much better than that.
It doesn't, but, you know.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.
Well, that's unreasonably high.
It's a Young Hunters 8. Remember, we'd give them different scales, the episodes. Compared to, like, you have given worse episodes than this a 4 in Young Hunters.
Fine, it gets a 5.
I don't know, it's because our original, like, scale was, like, 5 is functional, and this episode was more than just functional.
But I'm not willing to give the story, I'm not willing to give these credit for, like, not being the worst. They get credit when they're legitimately good, and there's nothing great about this episode at all.
Yeah, there's Quarry's design.
Doesn't make the episode good. That doesn't make the episode good. Also, I didn't see that.
Pataplane.
I didn't see that. It wasn't in the version I watched.
The fact that Taiki is where he should be.
I mean, I guess.
And Tigru is just like, almost like a parody of himself, right? Like, he's just a parody of that. And it's like when we had, Daisuke in the V-Tamer manga, and he just felt like a parody of himself. This felt like a parody of Tigru. And, big fan of this episode. How did this episode compare to your predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis?
So, I didn't think that Iru would have killed someone. I thought it was like a haunted house thing, and so I was wrong. The only thing I guessed was that there was actually like the ghost hunter would be a civilian, not somebody with a crossloader. And that much I was right about. But I thought they'd be much more over the top than this, where they're just like a normal kid.
Yeah, it is surprising that they actually have like just a non... She doesn't even know about the Digimon. The previous episodes where they've had a random civilian show up, they've been sort of aware of the Digimon. She just thought it was a ghost the entire time.
No, what are you talking about? They haven't... All the other ones... Oh, you mean like the pencil episode would be an example.
Yeah, like all the other ones, they sort of know... Like they call it, such and such mon. They're aware of what the Digimon sort of is. In this episode, it's just like... Yeah, like she's not actually sure what it is. And that just... I know, I like it because it is different from the formula episode. It follows a different sort of thing. I don't know, I dig it. Any other comparisons?
Comparisons.
Yeah, to your predictions.
Oh, no, and I mean, I guess it wasn't the same arc as every episode, so I didn't find it annoying particularly because it was different. It's easy to fall into this groove of where like everything's the same, and so I'm making these complaints. But then I see this episode, and I go, oh, this feels like a different thing, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they put like actual real effort into what they were doing.
It felt like whoever's writing it had an idea.
Yes.
As opposed to no ideas. And oh god, help me! It's the day we have to put the episode out. We haven't even written anything yet. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this episode, and I'm really happy that they actually did an episode that wasn't complete garbage.
Yeah, this
well
is
done.
Stockholm Syndrome at its finest.
Episode 71 starts off with some of the hunters from a few episodes ago. They're hunting, and Tiger is following them, and he has pictures of an Omegamon. It's just like, oh, this is the Omegamon that I've heard so much about. And I feel like him following these dudes just reminds me of what Team Rocket in this series does. Like, they kind of just follow around and try to leech off someone else's capture, right?
Something like that. But the weird thing about this one, I think, is that, like, it's Omegamon, and I swear he says something about Taiki in the process, like how he told him about this.
Yeah,
but
well,
no,
he's probably told him what what Omegamon is before, because Taiki has met Omegamon.
Yeah, but, like, you would think that it would be impossible to chase him down if you believed anything Taiki said about it.
Yeah, but Tiger is dumb, and it's not actually a Megamon.
Oh my god, I love how every solution to every plot hole is, oh yeah, but this character's an idiot.
I mean, notice Yu's not there, right?
And that's something that happens in the next episode. I go, wow, Takeru's an idiot. No one would ever believe, and then Yu just doesn't believe it, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like, the show, like, it's not just us that think Tiger is dumb. It's the characters. Like, it's not just him being, like, written like that. He's just awful. So, like, at least the show doesn't seem to think that he's perfect. The characters also seem to hate him. So, well done, I guess. Take some credit, I guess. Some minor credit. So, Omegamon stole some kids' clothes. It's actually Betsumon. And then Taiki shows up and he's mad. And Betsumon disguises himself. And he disguises himself as Shoutmon. And this is a pun that I thought I really appreciated and that I understood. Is that Betsu means different.
Okay.
So we have Tigeru saying that this is a different kind of mon altogether, because different mon would mean Betsumon, and his name is Betsumon. So when he says this is a different mon altogether, he's saying this is a Betsumon altogether. And it's really, really funny. Please take my word for it. It is a pun, and I understood the pun, and I was like, yay, I'm really happy. So there's a little Keikaku Min's plan bit for you.
And the crowd goes mild.
Wah! That's mild for you. So Gumdramon knows him, but Betsumon doesn't seem to remember him. And Betsumon's attack is Cold Gag when he just makes puns. And Tigeru is just mad about his bad puns. And Gumdramon doesn't want to hurt him. And then Shoutmon whispers something to Taiki. And then Clockman shows up with Team Rocket. And Taiki says he can't turn his back on anyone because he's Taiki. And I love it. Like, I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, Gumdramon is depressed and won't come out, and Taiki says that Shoutmon told him what happened. Gumdramon says that Betsumon is his friend, and Gumdramon can't evolve in this fight.
Well, it's funny because he tries to do it himself, and that doesn't work. It's always the kid being like, now go!
Yeah. So Roma wants to leave and Tigeru stops him, and we know that Betsumon and Gumdramon used to trap thieves and attack thieves, and Betsumon would rob them, and he would steal their clothes because he needs the clothes and the cloth out of the clothes to make his costumes, which I'm kind of glad and surprised that they explained how he makes these costumes. Like, this isn't necessarily something that Betsumon does.
Also, that he's not just, like, stealing children's clothes because he's the touchy uncle.
Yeah, I mean, it's creepy if you think it like that, but Betsumon is already really creepy looking. Like, I'm pretty sure I showed you a picture of him, like, years ago, and I was like, look how creepy this Digimon is. I think it might have been an I Will Show You a Digiworld at some point, like, look how creepy this Digimon is.
Makes me want to die.
Yeah. So, Shoutmon was mad because they're just picking fights, and Gumdramon's like, but they're bad guys, and Shoutmon's like, but you're being evil. And it's sort of that question of, like, and like things like Dexter, the TV show, also has the same question of, like, if you do bad things to bad people, are you a bad person?
Yes.
Yeah, and the answer is, like, it's like, yes, because you're still doing bad things. And it's like that whole thing of, like, two wrongs make a right.
Yeah,
but I think, like, yeah.
So, like, that's that actual superhero in Seattle who's the MMA fighter, and there's that weird Seattle law where if you get a police officer to mediate a punch fight, it's not illegal.
I dig it.
So the referee, so they just this dude dressed as a superhero calls over the cops every time he's about to go and punch out a criminal. The cop's like, yeah, sure, all right.
I love vigilante justice, and I've been watching a lot of vigilante justice movies. Like, well, as in a lot, I've seen 2 this year. Or, no, was it that last year? Oh, no. But I've seen an amount that's more than 0. So it's sort of a lot of those movies came out at one point. I saw one the other day, it was called Super. If you want to have a good time, don't watch that movie.
Why is it bad?
No, it's good. It's very good. It's a very good movie. It's just kind of like, it's a bit heavy. It's got that guy from The Office who's in all the memes.
Okay.
Like, you know
Steve
the guy
Carell?
from The Office.
Steve Carell?
No, not Steve. I think his name's like Dwight or something. He's the guy with the face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's in that movie, and like it's a movie. But yeah, so we actually find out in this episode why Gumdramon and Shoutmon sort of have like a history, because Gumdramon was I think he was sort of like a vigilante, but I don't think he was actually. I feel like he was just using, like, he was beating up bad guys, but he just wanted to beat people up. Like, I don't think it was like him actually being a good person at all. And with Betsumon, it definitely wasn't. He just wanted to steal the clothes, because they were actually just trapping bad guys and killing them and stealing their clothes. So that's still a bad thing to do. So I don't feel like he was doing it to be a vigilante, and that's how I was why I was talking about vigilante justice. But yeah, it's like not illegal, and we actually see the digital world for the first time in like a long time. Anyway, so I'm super glad that they're finally addressing this history with Shoutmon, because
it's really late.
Yeah, it's super late. That's why I said that episode, I'm gonna say episode 70, but also meaning episode 16 of Young Hunters. I feel like that could have been episode 2 of Young Hunters.
Yeah, this was episode 3. It would make a lot of sense.
If this was episode 3, that would be a normal pacing from finding out about a problem and then putting the problem, like explaining the problem the next time that Gumdramon and Shoutmon are in the same room.
Yeah, because it's weird showing us this now, because those characters have already resolved their stuff.
Like, do you get the idea that they kind of like wrote 5 episodes, said we can't have a 5-episode season of Digimon, and then just wrote a bunch of episodes in the middle?
That feels quite possible.
And also, this episode was also surprisingly good compared to the rest of it. It, like, when you throw the spaghetti against the wall, 2 strands stick, and it's this episode and the last episode.
This might be good now that we're back on the story. Like, we're in the original 5 episodes they planned.
Yeah, like, maybe. It's almost like it was, I don't know, it seems that maybe they wrote some ones, and then they just let some beginner writers write some episodes, and they're not like...
The interns.
And don't get me wrong, the episodes by themselves are fine, I guess, if they were just like a standalone thing. But it's never just
These are fine, I guess.
And I feel like, I can't remember who said it in our Discord, but I feel like it was, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Disaster Area 42, but it was quite a way back. So if it wasn't, I'm really sorry. Anyway, so somebody, possibly Disaster Area 42, said how some of these episodes just seem like they're from a different show, but with Digimon put in. Like a lot of Magical Girl episodes, I think was the genre in particular. Just like, you have some Digimon, and I would agree with that. Like, a lot of things, like, before this, it was just sort of like, Digimon, especially with the ramen episode, Digimon weren't actually, like, a main part, and they feel, like, forced into the episodes, and by themselves would be just fine standalone episodes, but then Digimon was forced into it and making it bad. I think it was...
Very interesting that that's the ingredient that makes it bad, isn't it?
Well, it's because it was almost like it was written to be something else, and
or
then you put
Digimon ruins things. Checkmate, atheists.
No. Why atheists? Are you saying that only atheists likes Digimon? Because I'm pretty sure that's false.
Yes, that's the hill I'm going to die on.
Okay, that's fair.
Finally, a hill of my own to die on.
Taiki reminds Gumdramon of Taiki's fight with Pinocchimon, and how they were friends, and they fought anyway, and they were able to snap it out of him.
There's another one that makes you think, oh yeah, this episode was meant to be much sooner after that incident.
Yeah, I feel like that could also be an episode, and that's fine. Like, that was a fine episode. We have a character relevant, we have Taiki be relevant, and not in like an awfully overpowering way. He kind of just shows up and wins, and Tigeru can't do it because he's useless, and he's new to being a chosen child. I don't know. Then we have our absolutely apparently compulsory part of the season where we get a punch on for no reason, and Tigeru punches Gumdramon to snap him out of his emotions.
I'm like, this reminds me of Savers, and they start punching each other. I'm like, this sucks, and it reminds me my Savers was way better than this.
Well, in Zero 2, everybody punched everybody, especially Ken. Miyako punched Ken.
Don't
TK
about, like,
punched Ken.
Punching your own Digimon, right? That is exclusively like a Masaru thing.
Yeah, and I kind of... I was going to say I like it. It's sad, but I feel like I like it in the way that it's sort of... It means something. And this... I know you said it sucks, but, like, I kind of like this. It was sort of like Tigeru actually having a character and a personality, and we've not seen that before.
Yeah, but it's not, like, done well.
Well, yeah, well...
Like, the scene is not directed well, is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, the sunset's nice, though.
I mean, I guess sunsets are hard to screw up, man.
True. We find out that when Gumdramon was in prison, Sunkomon released Gumdramon, but gave him a gold band, so Gumdramon wouldn't be naughty. I'm not sure what this is. I just can only assume it's the opposite of a holy ring, like the black ring, so a holy ring, I guess.
This seems like it's inserted into the story very late. Like, this character has all this gravitas around them, the Sunkomon, but, like,
yeah.
Who are they?
I think Sunkomon's one of the Royal Knights, maybe, or one of their advisors, I think.
Are you serious?
The
Royal Knights attack.
That was my impression, and I looked it up, and because, like, Mon is, like...
Are you for
gay.
real?
So I just got, like, a bunch of things about a temple. Cool. I cannot find any. Maybe I just misspelled it. Nope, that's also not that Digimon. I just can't find any information about this Digimon.
Is it because you've got the name wrong?
I'm pretty sure it's Sunkumon. Is it Gunkumon? Because Gunkumon's definitely a Royal Knight, but I think it was like a woman.
No. That was the other episode. It was Sunzomon.
Okay, I just wrote...
Sanzzo.
Oh, there we are. I just made a typo. Sunzomon. No, that's not a holy. I think I got it. Okay, the reason is I got it confused with Gunkumon, who is a Royal Knight.
Right. Doesn't make it that much better, but it does actually make it better.
Sunzomon's just like a monk friend, and of course, for some reason, in the Digimon Jintrix card game, she's sexy.
Amazing.
She certainly didn't have those knockers in the show.
Amazing.
But she does here. I'll just paste it in the Discord, and I'll put in the link dump for those who want to see some interesting art.
Look at those yabos.
Completely irrelevant to the character, and I feel like is a little bit wrong in terms of her personality, but that is fine.
Oh yeah, this character we know so much about, and we care so much about.
Well, she's clearly like some like god, right, or something. I don't know. So she gave the gold band, and it's the opposite of a dark ring. So the question is, if we take this off Gumdramon, is he evil? If we take off Gumdramon,
is Gatomon evil when you take hers off?
Patamon has holy rings. You can't just say every Digimon with a holy ring is good.
True.
Patamon tried to kill everyone. Do we even know where Patamon came from?
No, we don't. Where did he come from?
Where did he go? Anyway, so Sunkomon says that Gumdramon will meet a true friend that will give him greater power. So I like to believe that this little bracelet she gives him is why he's able to magically evolve as soon as he meets Tigeru. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of, okay? We find out that Betsumon has kidnapped people to form a sweatshop.
I actually believe you, by the way. I know that you're thinking, like, oh, it's a big stretch, but, like, because of the way she says you'll need this when you meet a true friend, it's entirely possible that's what it is. I feel like it's implied. And if it's not like, meant on purpose, I'm just going to say that that's it, because that's the only thing that makes it not super terrible in terms of him being able to evolve straight away. I tend to agree with you.
But they don't also clearly say it, and this show is very much clearly say things, right?
Seems obvious enough to me that they basically said it, such that maybe your level of faith is hilariously low.
That too.
Which, fair enough, you know.
Oh, yeah.
This show? Oof.
Yeah. Betsumon has an Examon costume, and so Gumdramon evolves when he shows up, and...
They treat Examon like they know exactly what it is. Am I wrong in saying we've never seen this thing before?
Examon is a holy knight, a royal knight.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question.
Well, he's not been in this season.
What season was he in? We've seen every season.
I feel like Examon has showed up in Savers?
I'm being a bit facetious. We've seen him?
Okay,
he's a Digimemory.
I was just about to say he's a Digimemory. That's
not good enough.
I'm kind of mad because I kind of like, I don't know. That's surprising. But yeah, he's a Digimemory. Fantastically. Okay. Oh yeah, he was one of the ones who gave Akari and Zenjiro the ability to survive with this attack, with the Bargramon attack. Okay, I guess that's not terrible. Anyway, so...
Just because you say it doesn't mean it's not terrible.
Yeah, true. So I noticed that Arrestramon, when he is in his evolved form, doesn't have that gold band around his tail. It clearly, like, it disappears, and like, the animation actually has it, like, disintegrate when he evolves. So...
That's odd.
I
Did he
think
always
that
have it?
that also supports my theory that this is just the...
Evolution supporter.
It is making him evolve. And he's using it up, and it sort of becomes him, and that's what gives him the power.
Yeah, but has he always had this thing?
The band in this show, yes.
Because I swear we've seen, like, you turned around enough times that, like...
Oh, no, he's always had it.
Okay.
Yeah, unless I'm very wrong, but he's definitely always had it.
Yeah, he probably did.
So, Arrestramon gets crossed up with Blossomon, and Taiki starts making puns, which freezes Betsumon, which makes him stay still, and Tigru captures him, and then Betsumon finally recognizes Gumdramon, and he apologizes.
This is another reason that, like, it feels like these episodes were meant to be way closer together, because the idea of, like, a Digimon forgetting who they knew beforehand in the digital world was a Puppetmon thing.
Yeah.
And, like, that seemed to be the story, right?
And that was also relevant in this episode.
And then all of a sudden, there was no story anymore for, like, 15 episodes? Because that didn't matter, because Digimon could just be good in the Digiquartz. There was nothing wrong with it.
Also,
I think that the ending of this is going to be like, oh yeah, the Digiquartz is, like, really bad for Digimon, it makes them forget things. And
when has
like,
Pokemon ever come back in this season?
I don't know. It didn't.
I know, he just sort of was there and it wasn't there. Anyway, so then Tigru shows the fact that he caught the Betsumon to Team Rocket, and they're actually impressed and they praise him. And then Clockman shows up.
What
and
a great
makes
Team
a pun.
Rocket.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like...
They're just hanging out.
Yeah, they make them... As I said, I've said this before, they can't decide on how evil to make them if they're actually just awful human beings. We know at least Ren is.
Yeah, we know he's garbage.
Because he just kind of was, like, hospitalizing people. Right? And then I think Roma is, like, a bit of a jerk. And I think Iru is a thief. But they're still, like... So that's probably why we can't work out how evil they are, because there's clearly just one of them that is more evil than the rest, and that's Ren, I think. I don't know. He's also the one I like the most in terms of design, and his Digimon is pretty cool. They're all... I like the Psychmon as well, who is Roma's Digimon. Anyway, so the introduction corner is Betsumon with Omega Shoutmon. It's fine. It's not my favourite, but whatever. What do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
Like, I was not impressed with it.
Really?
Basically at all.
But it explains things. Like, it actually explains things you wanted to know.
But it does make it good. Like... How do I put this? It's just this garbage Digimon stealing clothes, and there's no tension to that at all. It's like a joke episode, right? But it's also it's almost the second story episode in the season, like at all.
And it also doesn't follow the formula.
No, but like because it's just weird and garbage about this weird clothes stealing demon, it sort of shows its hand about what the entire season is and how it's kind of a big waste of your time.
Yes, yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't do a good job writing, so that's their fault.
Oh, that's true. What would you rate this episode?
This episode was a 2.
I gave it a 7. Like, it's good, but it's not as good as the last episode, but I still enjoyed
7 is absurd.
I mean, I enjoyed the fact that they actually seem to focus on some story that they've mentioned previously. Like, I feel like this is one of the first episodes, and possibly the first episode, that addresses things that happened in Young Hunters. Like, every other episode hasn't made reference, except for the times that the other kids have shown up in other episodes, like Train Boy and Doberman guy.
Train Boy and Lava Girl.
And the other hunters, I guess. But besides that, this is like the first one that actually talks about a story element for the first time. Like, well done, show.
Hold on, I'm doing the bare minimum.
They get like a gold star, but the star says, wasn't quite as bad as you could have been.
It does not even say you tried.
No, because I don't think they tried.
And yet you gave them a 7.
Yeah, it's a Young Hunters 7.
You didn't try. Here's a 7.
It's like, on an Atmon scale, it's like a 0.5. Like, I'm not saying that the 7 out of 10 is a good rating for Young Hunters. It's more like a potato out of 5, because it doesn't fit any other scale. It's on its own scale. It's probably still better than a lot of episodes in Frontier. However, I think Frontier might be arguably better than this season. Possibly. because they actually had some plot that was always there. Like, you have maybe an episode and then you look up to the sky and like, oh, there's the Rose Morning Star. Darn, there's some plot. And
Oh
then
my god, I totally forgot about that.
and then the filler was only at the very end of the season in general. Like, it was always just sort of, the plot was there. This one's just like, we're episode 18 out of 25, and we're just like, I guess this one could be relevant.
Maybe one day I'll be relevant.
I really think it's funny how, when I said, oh, by the way, the only episodes that count are like the last 5 episodes, I think you thought I was joking.
I really, really did.
You hoped that I was joking.
I could not conceive of a world in which you weren't joking.
No. This is just, like, this is the season that everyone says caused the death of Digimon.
And I'm not shocked in the slightest. It's causing the death of me. But not in like a fun, like, haha, I'm gonna explode because it's so painful way, but in a like a, I'm gonna melt to the ground because I couldn't conceive of anything less interesting than this. Like, and it's not like it's got no interesting elements to it, but it's like they've identified what those are and they've made sure not to show them to you.
And what about this episode compared to predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis?
So,
the episode?
I thought that Patamon would be mad creepy, and I'm gonna call that I was perfectly right, because the very first thing you see is he steals a bunch of children's clothes.
Oh yeah, he's like very creepy.
Then he tries to look at Iru's panties.
Yes, he's very creepy. He is a creepy Digimon. And to be fair, you cheated because I showed you a picture of Betsumon and he looks creepy. Like, of course, what do you expect him to be, an upstanding gentleman?
It's not cheating.
Like, I mean, just saying, well, that's sort of Captain Obvious. Betsumon will be creepy. Well, yes, I think that's kind of his point.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not his point. His point is also very creepy, but that's something different.
Gross.
Any other comparisons to your predictions?
I mean, all I said was I'll be disappointed if he's not dragged out in handcuffs, and boy, was I ever.
I mean, I like that they made him relevant to Gumdramon's story.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's something.
Like, again, well done.
Again, like, having a story doesn't earn you points. The story has to be good, and it kind of wasn't. The only good thing about this entire thing was when he runs off as a television-mon. It was cute. And he kind of puts on the TV-mon voice.
Yeah, that was great. And I kind of forgot that Monitormon existed, and I'm just like, I love Monitormon.
Oh yeah, that was way better than all the Digimon in this season. I miss them already.
Yeah, and there's sort of like another character that's a bit like, who were our best friends? Bokumon and Namon in
Yeah, they were
Frontier.
That version.
And the Monitormon are a lot like that, where they're just sort of like these kind of like sort of side, but not like, sort of like supporting and side characters, but also kind of main characters because they're like the shining ray of hope.
Yeah, but they were more supporting in this one.
I miss them though.
For sure.
Like, they
were so useful too.
Yeah, I want them to come back. They were useful and cute, and they had funny things, and they had personalities. Anyway,
everything Tagiro is not.
Yeah, rip. Episode 72, which, congratulations, we're back to the formula of, which I can explain in about 4 sentences, being a kid is there, not too super popular, not super happy, random Digimon shows up, causes a bunch of trouble in their lives, and then the Digimon children, the Digidestined, if you will, defeat this Digimon, and then the Digimon's like, oh, that means I can hang out with you and be a good character now, and sits inside the crossloader and is never relevant again.
Yeah, but, like, that description belies how weird this whole thing is.
Yeah.
Because, A, the kid should not have an issue, because, yeah, he's getting bullied by one guy, but immediately before that, the two kids were already like, oh, hey, that thing's cool. So he's not really being bullied to the extent where he has to have a breakdown. And second, the Digimon they fight this week is not a bad guy.
He's not a Digimon, and the bad guy they fight is...
As in, the pencil thing never is evil.
No, and even when they make the big monster, they're kind of just like, both the guy and the beast, like the bad guy, the Digimon, think that the beast is like a bad thing. They go, oh, I guess we overdid it.
Yeah, they immediately regret it, and you're like, wait, so who's like the bad guy here? And the answer is nobody. So that, and I was actually so shocked that Shota didn't get a crossloader at the end of this. It seemed like such a time that they would do that.
Yeah, and like also the whole who's the bad guy thing. The bad guy was just like, you made a mistake, which is so realistic. And again, like, it doesn't necessarily have to have Digimon. This could be a Yokai Watch episode or any sort of episode with monsters or a magical anything episode. This guy has a magic pen. Everything he draws becomes real. And then he kind of draws something that can't be beaten easily and makes it invincible. and they have to defeat it with a rubber, so they rub it out. And it's just like, okay. So it's something that doesn't have to be in Digimon. And arguably it's better than the other times I've seen the formula, because the kid's not evil. The Digimon isn't evil. The Digimon isn't doing it, like, selfishly. Like, all the other episodes have always been, like, the Digimon is feeding off some emotions. This Digimon's just having a great time. And the kid's having a great time. And I don't know, it's nice. Anyway, so this is another friend that Taiguru has randomly, by the way, that has never been seen before, never been referenced before, never whatever.
I don't think he's a friend. He's just a random dude in their class.
I know, but it's another one that Taiguru seems super close with all of a sudden. Anyway.
I don't agree with you. I don't think he seems that close.
He's like, what you drawing there? You're always drawing some great things. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, but that's not him being close. That's him being weird.
Yeah. Oh, he's very weird. So he's drawing dinosaurs, and then there's some random kid who insults Shota's drawings, and I like to believe it's the same mean, awful child who referred to, like, the new boy, and said, hey, you, speak up, we can't hear you. Like, I just
It wasn't, though.
I know, but what if he was?
No, but they're totally different. We got to see them both.
Yeah. Then there's some kids who are all just laughing at Shota, and then he points outside and shows the rainbow UFO that he drew, and it's flying outside.
What? Hold on a second. Wait. That stuff happens in between him being insulted for the first time and him showing them a UFO.
But I'm not going to go over it, because in about a minute, we get a flashback to what happens, and then they add on the extra stuff of what happens. So yeah, we get the explanation flashback. So I'm not going to say the same scene twice.
Okay.
We get a flashback 2 minutes after it happens, and it's word for word, and they just add on a bit. It's not relevant. Why do they do this? Anyway. So, Taiguru holds up his loader, we see a Digimon that's behind Shota, and it's one of the fan-drawn Digimon that we saw, I think, a couple of episodes, and it's a Kakimon, the pencil Digimon. You and Taiki think it's a Digimon as well, and so Shota's on the roof, and he's thanking a Kakimon, and then we get a flashback that we just saw, where he was sad and sitting on the roof, and a Kakimon shows up and transports him to the Digicourts, and they meet. And he says how he loves Shota's drawings, and Shota thinks that he's a UMA, and a Kakimon says he's not a UMA, he's a Digimon.
What the hell's a UMA?
Yeah, and a Kakimon says he'll make everything he draws real, and then he licks the page with a rainbow UFO. And then suddenly there's some also dinosaurs showing up in the real world, and other drawings that he drew, and it's basically terrifying people. So Taiki and the others show up, and Taiguru says that Shota is possessed. Turns out he's not, which I do like that, how Taiguru says, oh, he's possessed like all the other kids, but nope, he's just a dickhead. No, he's not.
He is.
He made some drawings. I don't think he means to be. Anyway, the monsters are easily beaten, and Shota is upset, so he draws more. And he draws a few Bigfoot called Big Handfoot, and he draws a lot of them. And then a Kakimon says they should draw something even more amazing, and Shota wants to draw something unbeatable. And a Kakimon takes him to the Digicourts. So they're drawing on the grounds, and there's some giant combination of all the drawings he's made so far, and it's unbeatable. And then Shota feels bad, and so does a Kakimon for that matter. And we get 3 evolutions with some split screen, which, again, big shocker considering I pointed it out last episode. And they fight, but it keeps on resurrecting.
Doesn't make this episode any good, though.
Yeah, no, this one sort of, like, betrays the theory.
Betrayal.
It betrays.
Betrayed me.
Absolutely betrayal. Anyway, so it's unbeatable, they feel bad, and they fight it, but it keeps on resurrecting because Shota made it invincible. And then Taiguru asks Shota to make something that's like some super weapon that a Restrimon can use that will defeat it. And a Kakimon says it's not possible because it may just be unbeatable now. And Taiguru tells him to draw something for Restrimon that's just amazing and strong. And I'm just like, here, please just be a rubber. Please be a rubber. And then it's a rubber, and I'm so happy. So a Restrimon just puts on his tail and rubs out the monster, and it's just so bonkers, and I love it so much because it's like, of course.
He very aggressively races it, though. My question is, how do you draw something and then, like, just dictate in the picture how invincible something is?
I think it has to do with a little bit of thought magic, which, yes, makes no sense, but I feel like...
Big sigh.
Yeah, like, that's the only thing you could possibly do with it. Anyway, so... Then a Kakimon, after the fight, says that he wants to live in Taiguru's crossloader so he can always see Shota's drawings. And I really like this, how it's not just like he captures a Digimon. He kind of like says, hey, I just want to kind of hang out with this guy, instead of just saying, oh, now you can hang out with this guy, now I've caught you. And I like it. So then Shota in the next scene is explained to the other kids that it was just a trick and the UFO was on a string and the dragons were on a projector. And the kid says he's lying, and now they're addicted to UFO and UMA books. And and it's kind of like this cute moment where their roles are kind of reversed. He's saying, no, but guys, it was fake, it's all fake, and they're sort of into it now, so he's made these friends. And
I have a quick question.
Yeah?
What would have happened if he had drawn a gun?
Oh,
What if he had drawn a chainsaw?
I don't, look, I think...
What if he had drawn 1,000 tons of gold?
To be fair, dragons, a lot more dangerous than chainsaw.
What if he had drawn the cure for cancer?
Oh, well, yeah, good point. But he's a kid. He's not going to think of that anyway.
What
Stop.
if he had drawn all his favourite celebrities? There are so many... He has the power to make anything. And he made a dragon.
Yeah.
And then not even one that he could control, because he established that he can make things invincible because he thought about it, but he does not have control of the chimera thing at the end, which implies he at least had to specify that he would have control over it, and he didn't even do that.
Yep.
This kid's an idiot. Kid's got the most ultimate power in the world, and he's the worst, and I hate him. This episode sucked.
So then we get an introduction corner. And it's a Kakimon crossed with the Ashima Unimon, who's just a black and white Unimon. He's a zebra. And it just makes a Kakimon monochrome, which makes him sad because his colours go away. What do you think of this episode as someone who's new to Digimon?
So bad. Like, I know Digimon's a dumb show, so suspension of disbelief isn't really a priority at any time, but it's so painful to watch this episode that makes, like, no sense at all. And while it's making no sense, it's just, like, it's got the most disgusting, overpowered idea and completely misuses it.
Yeah.
And I hated that.
Yeah. Sad, though. But, what'd you rate this episode?
1.
I gave it a 4. Like,
Doesn't deserve a 4.
It's just, like, they were doing so well, and while this episode doesn't perfectly follow the formula that I've been annoyed with this entire season, it does enough, and compared to the 2 episodes before it, it just feels like it's just bad in comparison. Like, we had 2 actually not terrible episodes that I enjoyed watching, and while I don't hate the other episodes, like the first 2 episodes this time were really, really decent, and we had some actual plot. It didn't try to be too much. It tried to just be Digimon, and it was fine. And then we had this episode, which was just, it didn't explain anything. The characters were just kind of, like, boring again. Like, Tigeru didn't have anything that's actually a character about him. He just kind of was there. Yu was kind of there. They felt like they were they weren't so much main characters as characters who were just following the plot. And it didn't seem as good compared to the last episode and the episode before it, where in the first one, we had them hunting down a mystery that they thought was a Digimon. You know, they were doing their job, getting rid of the Digimon in the real world. And the second episode was, hey, the whole premise of this season is the fact that they are on a hunt. It is a game. They want to catch rare Digimon. And Tigeru is being stupid, trying to find something that would be impossible to find. But he's chasing after, he's hunting a Digimon. That's the purpose of the season. So they're actually, the reason that they're running into plot is because they are chasing it. They are investigating it. This thing, it's strange. It'll be a Digimon. Let's remove it because it's causing problems in the human world. And then we have the second episode is, hey, we're in a game. We are hunting. I'm going to find this rare Digimon and capture it. And then we get plot. So that was the reason why in those 2 episodes they found plot, because they were looking for it, which is fine because they were following their own plot of the show, which was A, hunting is a game, or 2, Digimon are carrying over into the human world and this is causing problems. In this episode, they went to school and a Digimon found someone in their class.
Yeah, the Digimon came to them again. The opposite of a hunt.
Yeah, so it wasn't so much like, it was just a monster of the week. They go to class, something happens. Which, yes, we've addressed that the Digimon for some reason are all showing up in Japan, or more or less their school, but it shouldn't be their classroom. That seems too easy. And it's not as good, like, even with the train episode, yes, that was also a sort of formulaic episode, but at the start, we still had Tigeru say, this is unusual, this is probably a Digimon. And then he overhears a classmate talk about it and say, that's a Digimon. So at least then it was also investigating, but it was still someone in his class. Like, that's just, what's the luck? And we also had another episode, which was the guy with the money, with the Coinmon. And that was also that he also wasn't in their class. He wasn't probably in their school. But they found it sort of, because they tripped over the plot, they just sort of saw some restaurants having issues with their cash registers, and that happened. So you can also say sometimes they find the plot naturally, but it's not it doesn't go right to them. They still find plot. But this one is just like, they would, as I said, said, they are main characters, but they're not main characters. They're just sort of riding the plot in terms of they are supporting the plot. They are just sort of there. That is not a main character. That is just someone who's in the background, an extra just sort of following the plot. They're just sitting
chosen
still.
by virtue of that they happen to be where the camera is.
They are they are the chosen children. Chosen by what? The script. And that's not how you...
so much.
Yeah, that's not how you write things. And as I said, the first 2 episodes, they found the plot because they were looking for it because of the plot-related reasons. The hunt, or them working out why Digimon are coming to the real world and trying to get rid of them from the real world because they're doing some naughty stuff. That's fine. Those are 2 fine reasons for them fighting the plot. I don't know why they couldn't have done the rest of the season like that. Maybe because they didn't have enough ideas. Maybe they only had it twice. Lightning strikes twice, doesn't strike 3 times.
I mean, it strikes the same place many, many times, actually. The Empire State Building is hit hundreds of times a year.
Well, I think it's meant to, right? It has a lightning rod.
Yeah, but the lightning is hitting the same place.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it's the analogy of lightning does lightning strike twice, and I'm just saying that with this, in this case, these are 2 episodes.
Yeah. I'm just here to be a dick and contradict you.
Isn't that the point of the podcast, though, right?
Yes, just an outlet for that.
But yeah, so the 3rd episode this time was fine. It was definitely better than the other formula episodes, but it was just too convenient. It was too much just like they had to find another formula episode and they had to put a kid in the class again. They couldn't just have them hunting down. They just sort of found the plot magically. Like, how easy was it? Tugru was seated the entire episode and found the Digimon.
He stood up at the beginning to say hello.
I know, but like that was... I don't think he even said hello. I think he was just overhearing, and then he stayed seated, and then a UFO was outside the window, and then he looked at the guy with his crossloader and saw that there was a Digimon there. Like, that is just why. Why do you do this show? Why? Bad.
That's why. Like, that answers the question. It's like, why are you being bad? It's like, well, because I'm bad.
And what about your predictions in Obnoxious Synopsis?
I thought that the drawing thing would be like its own like the Digimon would be the one making the drawings.
Okay.
And although I did think that like the drawings would be like incidentally evil, like not intentionally so, which turned out to be pretty much correct.
Yeah.
And then it was impossible for me to predict that they would just keep going out of spite, because that's dumb.
Yeah. Well...
No way I could have known.
I still don't believe that he is evil. I don't think he meant to be like this, but it just sort of happened. I don't know.
Like, I agree, but then, like, it's obviously causing everyone damage, and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like, hey, dude, that's evil.
Yeah, he's doing not nice things, but at least it's sort of... He doesn't mean to.
It's not that big an excuse, but let's roll with it. Alright everybody, join us for the next episode of My Roommate is a Cat, the Great Undersea Adventure. Find the Digimon Treasure of Dreams.
And Rare Card Vanished, the Invincible Rook Chessmon.
And the Amusement Park of Dreams, Digimon Land.
The link dump's linked in the description, and our Redbubble is also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. And oh my god, my voice is dying now. You can contact us you can contact us and stay updated, and email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on that Translationmon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit, and we would appreciate if you review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast listening app that you use. Ratings apparently assist people finding about the podcast, so that'd be sweet, and also we'll read them out and it'll make us happy. So please do it. We also have a website, vote in polls, check our release schedule, and check out our blog posts.
You can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month, which gets you access to our listener Slack chat group, but there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our current Patreon supporters, Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki and the #1 on YouTube, Chuckmon, Stephen Reeves, who's WildMix64 on AO3, Kaidawashi, Shisai, who you can follow at Shisai236 on Tumblr, Kyle, the Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can find at baguburagu.wordpress.com, Tom, Lichgoat, Matthew, Anthony, who is at AntoClassic on Twitter, Lizmet, who's like one on Tumblr, Quinn, Sithobi, Megan, the Time Optimist, Nicholas, Starry, and Keith of the Friends in Firelight podcast.
You can also make one-off donation on our PayPal, which you can find linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Agumon. Make sure to listen to this podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye-bye!